Remember just one of the days, my wife asked me, when we were leaving for India, she told me, Gilbert, I'm going to India, but I'm not going to come back. I'm going to come back as luggage.
What?
I told her, no, what are you saying? You know, that was my reaction. Again, this day we are checked into a hotel. She told me, no, I'm going to go back. I told you, I'm going to go back.
That's a luggage.
It's luggage. She told me, can you give me some songs? I had my laptop, so we were able to put some songs. And I said, let me go to the supermarket and buy something so that we can cook. We've not eaten really well. So I went there looking for Jogo. So when I got back, he said, thank you. Now you can keep the laptop. I have finished mine with God. I told her, what have you finished? Say no. But this struggle did not leave me just scot-free. I suffered health-wise.
Yeah.
Like now I'm on diet sometimes. But I thank God for the fire I've come. I told you I came from the doors of depression. Deep things. I'm telling you, I would stay awake. I would battle things in my life. I would not even talk with someone for a minute. I didn't have the strength. I started isolating myself, wanting to be alone, but I thank God. In all this,
You have mentioned.
But you know what, Peter? This situation changed my philosophy of life. Completely. I don't look at life maybe the way you look at it. I was an overambitious man. Because coming from a humble background, living in a grass-tight house that's like a rocket, with all bundled 8 sons and 4 daughters inside. We were living a hard life. That made me a very ambitious person. But I came to consider and look at it, and from my own perspective, I said, contentment, as the Bible says, is the rule of the game.
Wow.
This situation humbled me to look at people with a human heart. I look at situations. I now understand what widows goes through and widowers. I never knew it before. As a pastor, I never knew the feeling of losing someone until I went through. And we ate. That was the first time I saw my wife eat full plate.
She had not eaten a full plate since she got well.
She ate very well, and she told me, today I have eaten. And you have also seen that I have eaten. We agreed and we stayed, okay. After some time, around an hour, we had tried to look for my brother-in-law who is in the US. The brother to Christian. So at some point now, he called. So we talked and I gave the phone to her. So they started talking. And I think also he was from work going to the house. So he immediately said, I have reached home, talk to dad. Now my wife was able to talk to the father, and they talked. And then at some point I remember vividly for asking the father that I'm tired, allow me to rest, can still talk later. And immediately my cousin called. Actually, my is not my close cousin. Is like we come from the same clan, and he was very instrumental. His name is Dennis. He really was very instrumental. So he called, checking on us. So my wife tells me, "Hey, Dennis is calling." So I took the phone. And as I tried talking to Dennis, I just found my wife struggling to breathe. So I dropped the phone. Here I am alone. I even don't know what to do. So what I could only do, because I remember my mother was a nurse. So the issue of trying to resuscitate somebody was now a reality. Now I don't know, I'm here between calling the doctor and trying to do something. even 1 second that you spend away from her, you are feeling that she's going.
You are going to lose her.
Yes. So I struggled and struggled. I breathed on her several times. Finally, I texted the doctor, and the doctor said I'll be there in 15 minutes. 15 minutes is a hell of a time.
It's a very long time.
How do you say 15 minutes while the situation is dire? I'm telling you, Bitok, I lost my wife while I saw. And still a very painful experience.
Sorry.
You don't know what it means. You're in a foreign land. You've really fought this thing. You fought the disease. She just died in my hands.
Slipped out of your hands.
The doctors came only to confirm that she's dead. In India, they don't say you die. They say expired. So they told me, your wife expired. I mean, I only know in Kenya, it's bread that expires. And any other thing. So the evidence of things here, the reality has come. I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know exactly what to do. So we imagine just from a happy moment of eating rice
and chatting
and just getting into a situation that now we are taking her to the morgue within no time. I'm lost in a world that I don't know what to do. So they took me. Now remember again, she's died in an hotel. So it had to also become a police case in terms of want to know, of course, what happened. And definitely being a patient, so they had to work with the hospital and the doctors, and finally they wrote a report. We took her to the hospital, of course, kept her in the morgue, and they can't allow you to do more than 3 days. Because in India, they, of course, cremation is the rule. So they said, we give you 3 days to take the body. Now, I'm going to walk back to the same room I was with my wife a few hours ago, and now she's no more. I did not sleep.
Sleep in the same bed.
I sat on the couch. I did not sleep. I sat and cried the whole night. When morning came, we have to run up, go to the police station, go to the, we are now running looking for papers. Then once we were cleared, now families are calling. The concern is coming in. People are calling me, and we're busy. We had to go to do the embalming of the body, preparation to travel. I'm also working with the issues of the tickets. The flight to go back home. We had to do all these things. Now I'm doing it, and when you have no one with you, it's always not a joke.
You are alone.
All alone.
Doing all this.
So sometimes they wanted to send someone to come. I said, no, why should you waste money? Come, just wait for us. Because now I'm now clear that I can manage. Let me just do what I can. Mm-hmm. I stood there. I was able to go through. We came to, we finally arrived through different planes, just as she said. We arrived, and interestingly, the cargo kind of airline and mine almost arrived at the same time. So I'm arriving on the other side, she's arriving on the other side. And coming out of that plane, meeting the first people I meet are my two boys.
As you check off from the plane, from the airport?
Yeah, from the airport now, I'm getting out. The first people I meet are my two sons. I don't know what to tell them where I left their mother. We hugged and cried, and the church was there. Thank God the church was there, like the whole church came. AIC Komarok. I really appreciate the work they did for us. They supported us in the journey. They were there for us when I arrived, and also our school, and that is how we started the journey. We took the body to the morgue at KU, and now we started, preparations started. But that is not an easy journey. And we went through it, we battled the entire thing. Finally we came, we buried her. Family was there for us, everybody was hurt. But now it was going to also be a beginning of a journey for my own self. It was a beginning of a journey that I would not really wish anyone to go through. I had, of course, never been through such a thing. Immediately we finished, of course, I started to grieve now. And grief is a monster. If you don't have support system, grief is a monster. But interestingly, when you are at that point of loss, people do not really understand you well. They would misunderstand you that you are strong. You are able to go through it. You are a reverend, not even a pastor, a reverend. You should be able to go through it. You even should preach the next Sunday.
You're supposed to console yourself.
Yes, you are closer to God. But I'm telling you, I almost got into depression. That is what was going to take me into the next level of battle with depression. I started hating people, not wanting people around me. I started battling, and I was actually health-wise, I would be in and out of hospital, or I don't know what I'm sick from, but definitely battling grief.
Yeah.
So that's the journey that I started. I had to resign from the church because I couldn't keep up serving and also managing grief.
Yeah.
I had to stay. I stayed home and away from active ministry for 2 years. I remember in this journey, no one visited me, like for real, to come and check on me. Not even my fellow pastors. Remember it was also during, now COVID had hit the country. So of course no one would also visit anyone. But I'm telling you, even having people call you and check on you, it's like, it's a done deal. So I still served from 2020 February up to around September.
As a pastor in the same church.
Yes, but now we're doing virtual services and all that because of COVID, and definitely I had to call it a day. And battling with grief, I remember we were asking about support system. No one came, but finally someone showed up around December. When I'm down, remember all this time now, I'm battling things. In the community, what is going around that is married. He's married the maid in the house. He's married the sister of the late wife. Those things would still come back to me and hit me hard. I'm down. It's like when someone is down and you are hitting hard on someone. I was being battled on the ground. And that's when I felt like giving up. I felt like I would not make it. But finally, someone showed up in December. Reverend Peter Mock, who is the principal of AIC Missionary College, came to visit. In Limo Farm, where I live, they have a program where they visit widows and widowers. So they showed up in my house and said, we are carrying some Christmas gift sent by the community. And I remember vividly Peter Mock asking me, Gilbert, how are you holding on? They really didn't have much time, but do you know that question took us 2 hours? Because this is the first team that I'm meeting to pour out my heart to them. And battling and battling and battling. All these things are happening at the verge of, so much that is going around in my head and my life. And I thank God because thereafter, at least He gave me a chance to teach in missionary college as a part-time lecturer. And that's how the journey of healing started.
That's where you're still teaching up to now?
Yes, I still teach there now.
Now, where are the children? You have children. How are they processing? Even before we start expounding more of how you are holding up.
Yeah.
Where are the children?
The children, I want to say, children do grieve.
Oh.
We push children around where, go and play outside or take away these children. Children do grieve. I remember when I just lost my wife, our firstborn son. He was found in the kitchen with a knife. And he was asked, what are you doing? He said, I want to die. I want to kill myself. I want to follow my mother.
What?
And all these things are happening and we are battling. But now I definitely was very close to them. I was never an absentee father myself. So I was now very close. My elder son was so much affected. And sometimes you are home and your child will cry. When you say, why are you crying? Daddy said, I miss mom. How should you do it? I mean, for heaven's sake, what you do answer a child who's asking you, I miss mom. We went through that journey together. We are still with the same children, stuck together. And I thank God that they've made great strides in coming to terms with what happened. Remember, it's not long ago. I mean, 2020 is just the other year. And it's still very fresh in our mind. So children have also been battling the same. But where we are now, we can say we thank God. I would sit and talk with them about their mom. We would cry together. We would really weep. Even crying is a little term. I think weeping.
As you remember.
I mean, we would just cry. You know, Christine was just an angel. She was just, she was an amazing mother to our children and of course our wife to me.
You supported your children. You supported your children.
I gave my children a lot of support, and that's what really healed them. And up to today, my absence in their life is a big thing. My children even do not leave my sight. I can assure you, even as we do this interview, they are just around. I mean, my children are just stuck with me, like they want to just be around there. But I thank God we picked up, God picked us up, and from the actions of Reverend Walk, giving me a chance to be with people, all these journeys has never been without a fight. We've had to fight all these battles, all these challenges, and I would want to really share with God's people who listen, anyone who is listening, when someone has lost someone in his or her life, what the best you can do is to support them.
That's all.
To listen to them. To just walk the journey with them. But do you know what happened most of the time? Battles begin.
Oh.
I'm telling you, as I buried my late wife, my family had already planned so. We need to sort this man out. Get someone around.
Get some. You can come out places.
I was even told that someone had already been brought around by my aunties to come and hang around to see and check, to learn the ground how it is. Remember, I'm down and there are things that are battling. It is important that also we, in the journeys that you go through, they become part and parcel of your journey, and they're not things you cannot wish away. They're not things you cannot just say, I don't want to be there. They're real and they're there. So I get in there, people have interests. So it's been a journey.
I just want to, wow, I'm even lacking words, and you've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
You've gone through a lot, and you remember you mentioned that umekuwa kwa ndoa mbili.
Yes.
Ndio family, there is your family planning for your remarriage. At what point were they planning your remarriage? Were you having an intention to remarry? At what point then did you remarry? And tell us about this wonderful lady.
Bito, my story is a very interesting one. And sometimes you share and people look at you with disbelief. At the point of, before we went to India, my late wife asked me, of course she said, when, I'm going to go and I'm not going to come back. And another thing that she said, preparing me for remarriage was, Gilbert, when I die, don't marry.
Oh.
Yes, don't marry. Because, of course, in her mind, of course, she's also thinking about the children. But if you are to marry, then there is someone I want you to consider.
Oh.
That was the twist of all these things. And I'm telling you, Bito, I listened to that advice as if I'm listening from God speaking to me.
That's a selfless.
Why I say that is because the person that she mentioned is the person I got married to.
Interesting.
And out of her coming into our lives has transformed us to be who we are. If you had a chance to see the boys that were left, you would look at and appreciate even this lady so much. She's done great. I said, she told me that thing twice, here in Kenya and one in India. I came from the supermarket and I'm brushing my teeth, and she said, remember I said I'm not going to go back. But also, don't remarry. If you are to marry, consider this person. I didn't know why she was saying that, but I said, I'll carry her wishes. I said, and I'm telling you, I don't regret a minute, because it's been a journey. You know, what kind of other loss do you expect when you have lost your dearest wife? I mean, what other loss? Everything else. I didn't tell you before that after I married my wife, I lost 3 other family members in succession. Immediately, I lost my uncle, brother to my dad, because of COVID. 1 week, I lost my grandmother. And some months later, I lost my grandfather.
That was heavy.
It was heavy. But do you know what I went through in this first loss?
Yeah.
Was so much that I even didn't feel the others. I was just there. If you ask me how you cried for your grandmother, I don't even remember. Because what I had gone through. Remember, I had gone through a hell of 2 years. Pain.
Intense
in
pain.
Treatment. Pain in everything. Pain in everywhere. But God was faithful. I must say, in all this, God was in the story. If you ask me where the strength came from. You know, no one could lift my wife from the ground. I was the only one. If you are to lift her, you have to be 3. And if you are not careful, you will hit the ground. But I would lift her and carry her myself. And people are wondering how I did it. But I also didn't know where the strength came from. So we always remember that our family verse, which is still my verse today, is Psalm 20 verse 7. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but I call upon the name of the Lord. That has been our verse, and that has what kept us moving. Mm-hmm. So I battled this grief. I really, everywhere I go, people misunderstood me. They didn't understand what I am. One time someone asked me, why did you remarry early? I said, I don't know what that kind of a question is that. You remarried early. My remarriage, I went through with my family. But my family to accept my wife again was not easy. We battled, everyone battled, because, remarriage is like you're marrying now for everybody. It's no longer you alone. Okay. Because everybody has interest. You have interest with your children, everyone has interest. So we had to battle all through this. But I'm telling you, Betok, I stood my ground. The lady I have now, I stood my ground. I had to fight through tough and rough edges. Family from all corners were just up against this arrangement. But I said, I would rather listen to what God really wants in my life. Mm. And I assure you today that if I had someone who would give me problems, I don't know if I would be in this show. Mm. My wife now has been very supportive. Edith has been just a blessing also from the Lord. The Lord has replenished us. Our family now has grown. We are now from a family of 2 to a family of 5. Wow. And we are happy. And we all share this story. When we talk about Christine with my wife, they studied together in school. Oh. So these are people who know each other. So it is not a strange thing. I was like, if you have someone who is disconnected from this story, I doubt if you will manage. Sure. And by the grace of God, I am here. I stayed. At some point, the church, I felt rejected because of what I was going through. But I thank God. I thank God so much. Especially my bishop. In our church, African Inland Church, we have hierarchy. Yeah. And we have Bishop Luca Mayo, a man I respect a lot, because me getting back to ministry, he was part of that journey. Understood my struggles. Because you see, you can have things happening. I remember even when my late wife got sick, someone said that she's pretending. I mean, she's pretending. So at some point I was asking, so do I have to wait? Maybe she's barren. Is she going to come back? I was like, people can say all manner of things. But I want to challenge everyone that in all these situations, God is in the picture.
Sure.
He might not be doing things as we want to see, but He's working behind the scenes. I'm appreciative. But this struggle did not leave me just scot-free. I suffered health-wise.
Yeah.
Like now I'm on diet sometimes. But I thank God for the fire I've come. I told you I came from the doors of depression. Deep things. I'm telling you, I would stay awake. I would battle things in my life. I would not even talk with someone for a minute. I didn't have the strength. I started isolating myself, wanting to be alone, but I thank God. In all this,
you have mentioned how you met Edith.
Yes.
So that is your second wife.
Yes, that's my second wife.
How did she react? I mean, Christine is saying, was she prepared? Christine is saying, get married to this lady. Was she prepared? Did she accept? Did your children accept her as the remarriage helped you in the grief? Now,
one thing that I know for sure is that there was a time when I was still in active service.
Yeah.
So we were in Eldoret. So Christine asked me, please, go back to work. And she said, I'm going to have, now at this moment, she has not said anything. She's not even exposed anything. So she said, I've looked for Edith. Edith was made during our wedding. So she was among those girls, flower girls.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then now she said, she's coming. And she told the whole family, not me alone. She told my sisters, hey, come and say hi. I have a very important guest in my house. Me, I went to Nairobi. Edith came and stayed for 1 week. I was in Nairobi. So the day I was coming, Edith left. And I came to learn later that Christine, spoke and told her everything about my family.
Gilbert.
And the only thing that she was now saying is, let's pray for Edith to get a good husband. Let's pray for Edith. And I was wondering, why is it so much? Why are you talking about it so much? We should be talking about your sickness. Why? But little did I know that God had already was preparing a way. So she was so prepared. She had been told about our lives. So when I talked to her, of course, with the situation, we had to pray over it. And finally she said, it's okay. So we got into this marriage. Remember, we are just from a lot of pain, and now here we are. But my wife has helped me to heal. She's been just a great help. My boys do love her so much.
So your boys reacted positively.
Positively, in fact, they are now the ones who are saying, "Hey, every time they've been staying with her for quite some time, and they are very happy. They've grown up knowing that yes, we have a second mom who loves us, and Edith loves them. To the moon and back.
Wow.
She considers them. She has a duty, and I appreciate the Lord. How I pray that anyone who goes through what I went through, who will go through what I went through. If God restores you this way, how grateful should you be? And I appreciate the Lord. Of course, definitely in every situation there are tussles in families of now you have remarried her. Will she still inherit the properties that you had? But these are things I worked with my late wife. You cannot, divorce me from all that. But also, there is also the arrangement of how we want to stay.
Yeah.
We have our children, and we are planning for them so that there is no conflict in the future. Not that children do grow.
How do you manage? Because now you're remarried. You're saying this remarriage has helped you.
Yes.
It may not be the case for everyone.
Yes.
The remarriage. And you know, I would ask, have you healed completely? Do you sometimes remember and have memories of your wife? Is your second wife comfortable with that?
Yes. Thank you so much, Bitok, for asking that, because I told you the background is Edith knows Ed, Christine. And I was very honest with her that this might take some time. And I can assure you, I'm still in the process of healing. I've not healed completely, but I appreciate I'm still in the process of healing. And my wife takes it very positively. I would even, Google would remind me of that situation, send me a picture of the same day, and I would see like that, and I would forward it to her. Say, this is the situation at the moment. And she'll talk to me, we talk and say, we encourage each other. I'm telling you, I would not have gotten anyone better.
Heaven sent.
And now my family, who are really antagonistic about this, they're now seeing the results and saying, wow. My first wife was sanguine, talkative like me. We would talk until we have to have one who is like to control the other one. Hey, you say letting, I say
yes.
no. Those are the things we are doing in our home. But now Edith is a reserved person. She's quiet-spirited. She loves her children, her family. She loves everything about our family. And I appreciate the Lord for that.
The only challenge that normally comes,
yes,
and it's a concern for so many people why they're asking themselves, they don't want to remarry, is these children.
Yes.
They could be favorism. Do you struggle with that? How have you managed to, you love the children, because now you married Edith, and the children that you have, Edith accepted them.
Yes.
At any point.
Edith also had a son.
Oh.
So when we are coming to this remarriage, she's bringing a package, I'm bringing mine. So we are having both of them. And now these are our children. And I took the children, actually staying with now my eldest son. And she stays with mine for some time. So we exchange the children. I took hers and she took mine. And we bonded for actually around close to around 2 years. And then now I stay with, and we don't have that. Actually, I'm the one who does a lot of things for these children, in terms of when I take my children out. And interestingly, let me tell you, Bitok, I have relatives of Christine who are in Eldoret. And I would send 3 of my sons to go to their home and stay there. And they are bonded very well. So we don't struggle with issues of favoritism. We don't struggle with that. I think, as you have just said, the description, I consider myself blessed. Because if truly that was going to be the case, it was going to be tough. Yeah. And I pray for anyone out there, it's important to seek the face of the Lord and to know the right person. Because I had also fear of the same. But I can assure you, if anyone looks at these boys today, they will know that there is a mother who is mentoring them.
Strong.
They are strong, and I'm telling you, and we are growing strong every day. And we are not looking back. But you know what, Doc? This situation changed my philosophy of life. Completely. I don't look at life maybe the way you look at it. I was an overambitious man. Because coming from a humble background, living in a grass-tight house that's like a rocket, with all bundled 8 sons and 4 daughters inside. We were living a hard life. That made me a very ambitious person. But I came to consider and look at it, and from my own perspective, I said, contentment, as the Bible says, is the rule of the game.
Wow.
This situation humbled me to look at people with a human heart. I look at situations. I now understand what widows goes through and widowers. I never knew it before. As a pastor, I never knew the feeling of losing someone until I went through it. And I thank God. Out of this, I've shared my story to churches and people have been healed of their situations in terms of emotional damage, psychological. I have even one case of someone who was on antidepressants because of depression. But when I shared this story, she was delivered. And I can tell you today, she's healthy and strong. Having had this story, there's nothing else. I know even as we share now, there are people who are wondering and saying, look at this man who came from the ground. Yes, I was beaten, but I'm starting now. And I'm looking at life very differently because this situation has helped me to shape me and to show me what is really very necessary in this life. Because you could be healthy today, but tomorrow you could be down. Anything can be possible. My wife was, I'm telling you, every time with my siblings, we talk about my late wife. Because we would meet and begin talking about her. She was very generous. You would come home and she would cook for everybody. She would meet my dad and ask the father-in-law, mbona hujanyoa? Enda kinyozi kwanza ndio uje ukule. And she would prepare kuku, and my dad used to really enjoy that. And I said, she was really good. But now life has to move on. We said we cannot stop. We have to raise our children, and we have to move.
Wow. You were affected as a person. How have you come out of it? You said you were depressed. Did you seek for help? How did you manage to come out of depression?
I think if it was not for Reverend Peter Mock, who came in a very timely manner, to first of all get me out of loneliness, to stay with people. Interactive class, I would share my story out, and that was helping me to vent out anger, bitterness. Because as I started becoming bitter and angry about things, everyone is struggling in this. I just came out of it. I started appreciating the Lord that, yes, the Lord gave me Christine for 9 years. And out of Christine, we have 2 children, lovely boys. And I started thanking God. A heart of gratitude is what made the difference. I didn't, stay again in complaining and agonizing. I started appreciating God. And that was actually the game changer. I started staying with people, talking to people. The thing that would really kill you is when you isolate yourself.
Okay.
So talking to people will begin to free you, and getting the right people, not people, just people, right people. And out of that situation, I was able to come out of it strongly. I told you, of course, I suffered hyperacidity as a result, and I struggled with the issue of acid for quite some time. I was on omeprazole for quite some time, and lifestyle had to change. You had to quit taking tea leaves, and I'm actually a grower of tea leaves. I come from Konoin. This is Kericho, a green town, and now I don't enjoy it. I just smell, but I don't enjoy it. But I have learned to live a changed lifestyle. I also stopped. There are so many things that people get concerned about that are not really very necessary. Because when you have good health, you are wealthy. When you are not sleeping without all these Panadols and all these things or antidepressants, you thank God. Even if you are drinking water alone. When I looked at my late wife, not able to move herself to the washroom outside, she could just, be there. I would go to church, preach in the first service, come out, look at our welfare, go back to church. That was my life.
That's so crazy, and It's been an interesting story, and maybe as we wrap up, I am so grateful that you are willing to share this story. And maybe looking at that camera, parting shots, and number one, to someone who is grieving, what you would tell a couple who is having, a person who is having a terminally ill or a sick spouse. Then maybe, because it is a mental health awareness month for men, what can you tell men who are going through a lot, but the society is telling them to be strong, no shedding tears, go strong as a man, and maybe others that you would want to leave to the viewer looking at that camera?
Thank you, Bitok. Viewers, when you are going through sickness, maybe you are a caregiver of a terminally ill person. First of all, I want you to trust in God. Secondly, you've got to be strong. You've got to be strong for the person, and you need to give all your best. It doesn't matter how long it's gonna take, but never give up on them. You are the only source of hope. You are the only source of encouragement. If you leave, who will help them? Who will, provide care? So that's one thing that I must assure you, that stick and rely on God in the process. You may find out that there's no one else who comes in to assist you. Also, it is important that you don't just stick in that environment alone. Learn also to ventilate. Learn also to find a moment out there. You can even take a break of an hour, go out, come back. Rejuvenate your spirit so that you are able to take care of this person. It will be involving. Sometimes it will require things that you don't have. Money, sacrifices to be in the hospital, sleep on the couch, be there and walk the journey. Be strong. Do not give up on them. You are all they've got. Walk the journey with them. You need them. And we are helping them today. Tomorrow we need someone to help us. So don't give up on anyone who is sick. Don't run away, because we are also carrying bodies that are so fragile. Anything can happen to us. But you would also want, I would say what the Bible says, do to others what you would want them to do to you. For men or anyone who's going through, grief, I must say, don't be alone. Seek help. Talk to somebody. Open up. Share your problem. Because it's only in ventilating as one of the ways that you can really get out of this, is ventilate. Get it out of you so that you can find strength to move on. So for any man who has lost his wife, I'll tell you, be strong. You may not really go as I did. Your story might be different. But I want to encourage you that you can pick up the broken pieces and move on. But it is important to trust in the Lord. That the Lord will fix your life. He's the one who understands you. He's the one who has allowed the situation. So he's the one to fix you. So may the Lord give you the strength to be able to bear the loss and stick and stand. Standing alone may become a principle in your life. Sometimes you may need to be alone and fight alone. Don't give up. If children have been left, maybe you are a widow. You would have to fight it out. Parents, like family, would be able sometimes to fight back. But I would encourage you that stick. Humility is the principle of life. Humble yourself and allow God to work through situations. And I'm telling you, you're going to come out of it. Wow. You'll be strong. If I came out of it, even though, yes, I'm still in a journey, you can still come out of it. Be strong and don't give up. Don't surrender. Fights will be there. I was also fought. Even by the people I didn't expect the fight to come from. But here I am, strong, serving God, and also serving my family. So I pray that God is going to help you to come through it. If the situation gets, serious, you may need to look for help. Look for a doctor. Look for a psychologist to assist you in the journey. Go for counseling, because those are the avenues. If you don't follow this, you will die. I almost died. And I decided that I'm not going to die for these children. I must really live so that they can also, because I'm the only one who's got to help them. But now you see the Lord has done me well, He'll do you well again. He'll strengthen you and He'll give you the grace.
Very importantly, dear viewers, my dear friends, is that we must keep on moving. We must keep on giving hope. We must hold on unto hope, because in the event that you lose that hope, you've lost the building block of life. I hope through this you have taken notes and you have learned a lot from this. I have learned a great lesson out of this interview, that, people might run away, friends might depart you, family might even distance themselves, even the church can run away from you. But as long as a family, as you stick close to each other, you as a family will conquer. And therefore, we just want to encourage you to stay hopeful even in tough times. We are looking forward to bringing you other interesting learning points from different stories and memories, as individuals will be sharing these memories. And only this will be possible as you subscribe, as you share. And by the way, you need to like every other episode that we post, so that YouTube algorithm can be able to suggest us to other people.
If you are struggling and going through grief and pain and loss, or even the treatment of a long-term illness, you can talk to us. You can talk to me. You can reach me through 0720 241 421, 0720 241 421, and we can be able to walk the journey together and see what God is able to do. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. And of course, on my side, I am backed up by a wonderful team. I want to thank our first guest, that is Matthew Mutai, who suggested our guest of this episode. And I am also thankful to the team, the wonderful team that is working on the cameras. On the cameras, we have Billion Strokes, and then we have Tito's Creation. They are doing a wonderful job. And also, I'm so grateful because where we are doing this episode is AIC Missionary College, and I'm appreciative of Reverend Ngok, who gave us a space for us to do this episode. And I am so thankful that you joined us. I'm thankful for following this episode. Until next time, see you guys. God bless you.